this is a good day in our church calendar and our liturgical calendar because it is a celebration that spirituality and earth consciousness are not a contest between each other, but they are, should be, and can be fully integrated into our soulful connection with self, with earth, and with spirit. This is a time also to get very clear about how your beliefs are connected to your actions. So, I want to start with just sharing with you a couple of my very core essential beliefs. I believe that when it comes to God, everyone is right. I believe that people can always change. All people can always change. I believe there are enough resources today for everyone on earth to have enough. But here's something I do not believe in as a concept. I don't believe in laziness. This concept was generated, or at least it was largely perpetuated by slave owners to apply to the enslaved person's defiance, exhaustion, or simply their humanity and human need for rest and independence. Today, this pejorative lazy is still used. It is still applied to employees, to workers, those who labor. It is applied also to teenagers, to children, and young people. And friends, I don't believe it's real. I don't believe it exists at all. There are only 3 things you need in order to do the work: motivation, resources, and accountability. You need motivation, you need some resources, and you need some accountability. And another thing I believe the majority of people are good and want to do good. But when it comes to preserving our climate, our earth, we lack some of what we need to do this work. Some people, well, they might lack motivation. They feel fine about their personal lives and choices. Honestly, a Hummer is fine. Or whatever. I don't know if they make those anymore. They don't feel a spiritual connection to the planet or its inhabitants. This service is not for those people. Many folks, though, lack the resources of time and money to contribute meaningfully to climate preservation. And the corporate interests, those who do have the resources to do more, to do so much more, to regenerate, to preserve the earth, well, they appear to be relieved of their accountability measures at an ever-spiraling rate. And also, they lack the motivation. Which is to say, we all have our work to do. As individuals and as communities, and part of that work is to increase accountability, increase motivation for the companies, for the industries who are doing the most damage to get to work, to get to the work of climate preservation. But still, there is something missing. Something that keeps the work from happening at the rate our doom requires. A missing piece in the puzzle of preserving our precious earth. Earlier this spring, some members of UUCA's climate action team introduced me to the exciting work of Dr. Ayanna Elizabeth Johnson, a marine biologist. By the way, how many of you wanted to be a marine biologist when you were a child? I wanted to. I read those Madeline L'Engle books. She's a marine biologist. She's a climate scholar and activist, and she's taking her work into the public sphere with a great blog, a podcast, a new book that's being released next year called What If We Get It Right? Visions of Climate Futurism. Ayana, she is full of vitality, vigor, and hope. Now, those are three things we will need for the work of generations. She, as an African-American woman, she elevates BIPOC folks, women, and youth voices in her work, and she frames the need for us to understand that the work need not be perfect, nor need it be onerous. Okay, here's what's missing. Fun. Well, joy. Johnson, she was a consultant on Adam McKay's recent film, Don't Look Up. Anybody see that movie? I think it was Don't Look Up. It's a satirical comedy, farce, about the extremely serious possibility of Earth's destruction in our lifetime. She knows. The research reveals that humor can lower our defenses and make hard truths easier to hear. She knows we need all manner of compelling creations to reach all type of folks. And the point of all of it is to welcome more and more people into the joyful work of driving forward climate solutions. So 70% of adults in the United States say they are willing to take action on climate, but 51% say they don't know where to start. And though fervent climate science deniers get a lot of attention, they are only 7% of Americans. Amid all the dire news, these numbers are encouraging. So maybe it was some film or GIF, did I say that right? GIF? Or TikTok has jostled you to think seriously about what you can do. Specifically, you. Well, this is one way to answer this question of what can you do. Think of a Venn diagram. I forgot. I was going to bring 3 circles. A Venn diagram with 3 overlapping circles. In the first, you put what you're good at. So, like, which Avenger are you? What are your specific superpowers? That's how she frames it. And in the second circle, put what part of the climate challenge you want to work on, your mission, should you choose to accept it. And in the third, you right there have what brings you joy. What's fun? What for you is not work at all because you love it so much. Then you find your way to the epicenter of that climate action Venn diagram for as many minutes of your life as you can. We don't all have to do the same thing. In fact, we shouldn't. You see, we are joining a marathon of hope, in the words of Parker Palmer, a marathon of hope. And while this work is ours to take up in our lifetime, the baton will be passed to future generations. But here's the thing about marathons. I mean, I've never run a marathon, actually, but what I can imagine is that most of running a marathon is not the thrill of the finish line. That's just one little moment. Most of it is mundane, boring even, just putting one foot in front of the other. And most of the work of restoring, regenerating, and caring for our planet is like this. It is common as dirt. If you are not doing your share, it is not because of laziness. Laziness, well, that's make-believe. It may be because you are not spending time in the center of those circles of action, the center where your passion, your skills meet your joy. The teen climate activist Xiye Bastida says it best. A vibrant, fair, regenerative future is possible, not when thousands of people do climate justice activism perfectly, but when millions of people do the best they can. This generation, even me, we were raised amidst the climate apocalypse, truly. Climate apocalypse, this feeling like we are on the decline, like it's all going to end. This is not cause for despair, friends. This is cause for focus. This directs our attention where it needs to be. We have before us spiritual tasks, The spiritual task to equip ourselves with the skills and the stories to seed future communities, future generations. In the long labor of love, the marathon of hope that will preserve our precious planet. Our faith is a tool, a powerful tool amidst this devastation and crisis. And it is enough. It is our passion that is our fertilizer. Our skills, well, that's the turning of the earth over and over. And our joy, our fun, our sense of fun and play, well, that's the magic ingredient to infuse the common dirt with germinating seed that sprouts into an idea, then an action, then grows and takes shape as a movement. And the vines, well, they reach towards the sky, and suddenly the whole community is working together, running the distance of Earth's regeneration and renewal. So, take a breath. Rest your climate anxiety. Lay it a little bit to rest. Your weary bones, just knowing that the work is as common as dirt. And dirt, that is where life is born.